This is the Healey Brothers Show.
Well, welcome to the Healey Brothers Show. Two of my favorites here, Molly and Justin, who I seem to be chatting with weekly and daily. And Allison, it's been a long time. So welcome. Thanks for jumping on, everyone. I really, really appreciate it. And this is going to be a good call. And we just received our award. So we appreciate that. The team's real psyched. They didn't think we get stuff like that. They're always shocked when we get something because they're doing their job so well, but it goes to a testament to them. So first off here, I just want to touch on our relationship, a little background on you, Allison, and kind of how we met and kind of what your role is at Pinterest. So if you just want to get started and introduce yourself a little bit.
Sure. My name's Allison McConaughey, and I am a lead client partner here at Pinterest. I lead our Tier 3 automotive team. So I'm focused on onboarding and activating dealerships across the country on Pinterest. I've been working at Pinterest for almost 8 years, always within the automotive sector. So well versed from Tier 1 all the way through Tier 3. And we've been partnering together, Jay, for several years. Healey was one of our early adopters when it came to shopping, which is something I'm sure we'll touch on today. And I'm very grateful for Justin and Molly for bridging this relationship and introducing us.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk. It's been a long time, and yeah, we were the test dummies back in the day, and we were actually pitching Pinterest, me and Justin, to Ziegler the other day, and how it's a big part of our strategy. So, Justin and Molly, do you want to jump in and just introduce yourselves real quick? I know you guys been on before, but just a little update.
Go ahead, Molly.
Well, thanks, Jay. My name's Molly. I'm the brand manager for Dealers United, who we get to help Jay and his team run ads on Pinterest, which is one of my favorite topics to talk about. So I'm really excited to be here.
Good to meet everybody. Thanks for having me on today, Jay. My name is Justin Friend. I'm the SVP here at Dealers United, and we've been working together professionally and personally for years. Our relationship dates back quite a while to your dad and your uncle way back when. So I'm excited to be chatting here with you today. And it's funny, I was actually thinking, right? I knew we were coming on today, and we had Allison. And do you remember the love picture from Las Vegas?
I didn't think you were going to bring that up today.
That picture is iconic, and hopefully we can get a little snapshot of it spliced in here. That made this famous book. I don't know if we ever told you this, Jay, but Allison told us this made a book at Pinterest.
It sure did. It made its way all the way up our leadership chain. We were very proud of that partnership and all the fun we had in Vegas that weekend.
And you are no longer allowed back in Vegas. Wow, I think I have that picture somewhere in my camera folder. All right, so let's get started here. I know we're all familiar with each other. We've came a long way with auto. We've done a lot of great things, awards and all that good stuff. But I just want to start with what makes Pinterest different than the other channels? Because I mean, everyone always hears Meta, they hear Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is always the hot one. X now with Elon Musk and all that stuff. But Pinterest has always been solid. It's go-to and it's always consistent. So if you just want to elaborate on that and why it's different for our consumers.
Yeah, absolutely. So Pinterest is different for a few reasons. The first is the audience's mindset when they utilize the platform. So Pinterest is a place where folks come to find inspiration and ideas. And when they come to Pinterest, they don't necessarily know what exactly they're looking for, right? So they have this open mindset, but that is partnered with intent to take action once they find what they're looking for. So that can bridge pretty much anything from obviously automotive sales all the way through to planning your child's birthday party, right? You know, you have a birthday coming up, your child's really into dinosaurs. You come on Pinterest, you're looking for dinosaur birthday party inspiration. So that open mindset paired with the intent, right? The willingness to take action. And that piece is super important when it comes to the automotive buyer, because as we all know, automotive prices keep going up and up and up. This year, we're just shy of 50,000 for the new vehicle transaction average price.
Yeah, I think it's at 48,000 now. They just released something right around there.
So cars are becoming less affordable for the average consumer in the United States. But on Pinterest, we skew to the affluent consumer who has discretionary income and they can afford those very heavy monthly payments for new automotive purchases. So those are a few reasons why Pinterest is a little bit different. It's that mindset, it's the audience having that affluent income level, and it's that willingness to take action once they find what they're looking for.
One of the reasons that I love Pinterest, and we've talked about this before, is like you've called it the positive place on the internet. You're going to go there to add something to your life. We're not just like doom scrolling or, just looking to be a little bit mindless. It's more, like you said, intent driven. Like you are looking to add something to your life. You want to make a decision, you want to get a recipe, you want to do something. So it's very much more, I'm looking to take action, and it's not political ads or all different types of media getting in front of you. It's very much aligned with what I'm interested in. So I know, Jay, you have lots of local viewers who view your podcast, and I think that if other local businesses in your area are listening, they should absolutely think about Pinterest, because of the way that the consumer, the person who's on Pinterest, what they're doing is they're so decision oriented, like Allison said.
Yeah, I think that's always like a big part for us is that's why we're still advertising on and marketing on Pinterest. I mean, they're the doers. Another big point I always bring up, and just to move into there, is women. We all know, whether we like it or not, the men, but women are decision makers in households, and they're the ones getting things done. And whether it's taking the kids in the SUVs or something like that. So I just think it's a platform that has to be part of your marketing scheme, and also the consumers are there. Like I said, the women are there. They're taking action, whether it's redoing a closet, choosing a car, seeing a car that they like for their family, or something like that aspect, or the birthday party. I think it's such a huge part for people to do it. And I don't use Pinterest that often, but I can tell you my cousin's pretty big on Pinterest, Blake Healey. So she's always all over it, and she's having a kid. So I can only imagine what her Pinterest looks like right now. It's probably mayhem. But it's a great platform. So on that women point, can you elaborate a little more on why women are so on this, like so engaged with this platform, making so many decisions, and if you just want to chat about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Pinterest has always skewed a little bit more female heavy than male. And when I first started working at Pinterest within automotive, that was kind of a hurdle we had to overcome, because there was this theory that men were driving the purchase decisions for new vehicles, right? So thankfully, the data has caught up, and I believe it was our partners at Equifax that published a bunch of female-focused data around the automotive purchase journey. And it showcased that more than 80% of automotive buying decisions are driven by women. And women, when they're buying cars solo, actually outspend men. So it was very interesting and empowering to see that data.
Ouch.
Because again, Pinterest tends to skew female. And to your point about your cousin who's pregnant, Pinterest is the platform folks come to when they're planning for life events. So when someone is engaged and they're planning that wedding, they're doing that on Pinterest. They're building the board, they're picking out their flowers and their dress and all of the different things that go into planning that life event. And the interesting thing is, when folks are cycling through those key life moments, they're 2.5 times more likely to be in market for a new vehicle within the next year. So again, Pinterest is the platform they're coming to plan for that wedding, that nursery for the new baby, that new house, or that house renovation. So we have those signals very early, and the opportunity for automotive advertisers is to tap into those signals and get their messaging in front of that consumer as they start to go down that car buying journey.
And then Justin, what are your other dealers seeing when it comes to women? Are they seeing the same thing as us with the type of content they're creating and tailored? Because our content is tailored, our marketing is tailored to that. What are your other dealers around the country saying?
So I mean, great question, and it depends, right? I would say, and I'm not just saying this because I'm here on your show, but you guys do an exceptional job of creating content. Pinterest is a visual first platform. We focus on things that we enjoy to look at, and you guys do a really good job of creating content that flows with the platform. We do have other dealers that are seeing the same level of success at you guys in varying capacity. Again, it all depends on the message, it all depends on the mission, right? What are we trying to accomplish? Going back to the point though, Jay, like we have talked many times, you and I specifically, about inventory being a commodity, so to speak. And if you're going to be successful as a dealer or dealer group, you need to differentiate yourself and let the shopper, regardless of what platform they're on, know why they should choose Healey Brothers. And I think that's one of the things that you guys do an exceptional job from a content and creativity perspective, that you're putting that out on Pinterest in a capacity that resonates with the people, because you do a really good job with the visual side of things.
Yeah, I also think that's a big part too. Like if you're marketing to someone and then you go to your profile and there's no content there organically, that you're not putting anything there, it's irrelevant. And I think that's super important. I think some companies do that, and then you go to their page and they're really not putting any effort into it, and people get discouraged by that. It's almost like hey, I'm just going to serve you as many ads as possible kind of a thing. But I know, Allison, you always brought this up. Make sure you have content on your profiles. Make sure you're always engaging with it, and make sure you're doing things on Pinterest, because it's a better experience for the user. You just want to talk about why it's so important to also create organic content for the platform as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at the end of the day, you're always looking to build community within whatever platform you're advertising on, right? So Pinterest is no different. You want to serve, of course, relevant ads to customers. But at the same time, you also want to highlight all of the great things that you do within your community. And customers love to see that, right? And that helps to build your brand awareness and your brand halo for all of the community give back programs and the things that you do to support your communities. So all of that information has a place on Pinterest. It does obviously work a little bit better on the organic side. So I think it's just a great way, again, to like build community, to highlight all of the great things that you do to give back to the communities in which you operate. And it just makes the customer feel even more positive about bringing you their business.
I think one of the ways that you serve your community on Pinterest, I mean, you do promote the ways that you serve your community outside, I mean, offline on Pinterest, but I think online on Pinterest, the way that you guys really do serve is through education. Like I remember one time for Autism Awareness Month, you did this pin campaign showing different features of a vehicle that are beneficial for people who are, have sensory issues or are highly sensitive, and how different vehicle seat belts or different ways that you can customize your vehicle can help with somebody who is a little bit has higher sensitivity. So this education is such a great way that you give back and educate people. So if you haven't checked out their Pinterest pages, definitely go on there. I know as a woman on Pinterest, I have learned a thing or two. Definitely think we are underserved in our automotive knowledge. So thank you for that on your online Pinterest community.
I forgot we did that. That was actually a really good one. I think Nikki actually put that one together. I think we were giving away a blank like that.
Yep.
And also Pinterest is different. You can't just post anything on there. I know we've tried everything for organically and stuff like that, and we work with Dealers United. What are you seeing that really works for dealers? Like if they're going to go and come up with a media plan, a social media plan, and say, hey, I'm going to post a couple times a week. What are you seeing works the best for organic content? And then also the marketing strategy to serve the customer and to get them to engage with you. Because most importantly, you want them to engage with you, whether it's showing them product or showing them something else that you do. You want the engagement. What are you seeing like the best things are to do for a dealer or to engage, to have that consumer engaged?
Sure. From an organic perspective, pinners like to see updates like on a regular basis, right? So whether you're scheduling publication of new content on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis, just getting in a regular cadence with that. I believe our best practice is like 2 to 3 new pins a week if you can manage that cadence. But again, the most important thing is to regularly update that creative so that they have new things to look for and to come visit your page specifically to seek out. And then for dealers on the paid side, we always recommend a full funnel strategy. So we want to see 2+ different objectives running at the same time. So that could be an awareness campaign plus shopping. And then we also want to see a mix of different pin types. So static plus video, video plus inventory pins. When we have multiple objectives and pin types running, we see a 2x return on the conversion volume for our dealers. So it's really, really important that they understand that there is an enormous amount of value and having a full funnel strategy in place versus just opting to run a shopping campaign, right? Dealers all day long, they understand, like, let's get my inventory out there. This makes the most sense. And it's true. It's a huge, like, important piece of your strategy, but it's not your whole strategy. You have to augment it with upper and mid funnel strategy in order to capture that customer at every step of the process.
I couldn't agree
When I
more.
think,
Go ahead, Justin, jump in.
sorry. So the other thing I think that I would add to that, Allison, is the ability to target, right? And that's something, Jay, we've done for many of your stores. Like you have domestic brands, you have, third row SUVs, and we've run campaigns going back to the "Hey, moms are on Pinterest" notion. We've worked with you to run those full funnel campaigns that are targeting, third row SUVs, whether it's a Tahoe or a Suburban or Expedition, whatever the case may be. So I think, Allison, everything you just said, we take that and then layer in that very specific targeting or desire from the dealership. If you, Jay, have a certain segment of vehicle that we need to help one of your locations move, that's where we can take that full funnel strategy on Pinterest and build campaigns to target that piece of inventory or that car segment on its own.
Imagery.
Go ahead, Mom. Jump in.
Sorry, Jay. I think the other thing that works super well is the imagery and like the creative, like really making it, because Pinterest is such a visual first platform, and tailoring that creative to the type of person you're going after. Are they an outdoor enthusiast? So we're going to make sure we have our, our off-roading bikes and, our kayaks on the vehicle. Or are we going after moms? And so you definitely see more child-friendly, features or things of that nature, or somebody's really into the tech package. So I think really honing in on what that image looks like. It can be very authentic. It can just be done with an iPhone, but really making sure it has that visual appeal that really helps it stand out.
Yeah, I mean, authenticity is huge, and obviously we're on the mom camp with Pinterest. It seems to do the best for us. We test other things. We were actually having a conversation with Rachel today, but the moms work well with us. The third rows work really well. We get the right engagement, but we're also telling our message, our story. And I think Pinterest is still a great place to tell a story. I think dealers and other marketers that get stuck is they just inventory. It's not authentic enough, and people just don't want to see inventory. It's good. It's good branding. It's being relevant. But if you could tell a story with it, you're going to get that person engaged that much more and understand that they want to do business with you. And I think that's a huge part. And also back to Justin, what we always focus on is targeting. We talked about this NAD is so crucial. Whether it's a mom looking and we could tell we're going to deliver, say, the Expedition to her, we don't want to show her a Corvette. That's not relevant. Right. It's going to piss her off more than anything. You don't want an angry mama bear there. So location, the targeting is so crucial, and you want to deliver a relevant message for that customer experience. Again, it's a platform that's supposed to drive customer experience, not just be a place to market on. And I think Pinterest does a really, really good job with that. And I've came a long way because I go back and forth for it multiple times, and Justin hears me battle with it. But I really think it's a great area and channel to really deliver the right message. That's to a buyer and a doer, a person that takes action, like you said.
So I know you don't have the trophy here, but Allison, the Healey brothers was, correct me if I'm wrong, the number one tier 3 advertiser on Pinterest?
Yes, the number one automotive group.
You guys make that up for us.
We did not for 2024. So we did. We sent a really cute little trophy over. We just wanted to show how much we appreciate you.
Well, we appreciate that. The team absolutely loved it. They thought it was a lie. They're like, "Oh, Pinterest actually reached out to you and sent this to you." I was like, "It's been a long time, but I guess we're doing something right still. They didn't forget about us."
But it's pretty cool, right? Like we go back to the point where
I thought it was fake. I was like, "There's no way. There's so many people marketing on Pinterest and it's a massive company. How do we win?"
But you did. It wasn't rigged. And I mean, we go back to the point where, we launched Pinterest together. We've, spoken on stage about Pinterest at various trade shows. Like, yes, obviously we had the Las Vegas Love hotel picture, which I hope Nikki drops that in again. It's the second time I've asked.
Do you
But
not
like,
have a picture? It seems like you miss everyone.
no, listen, it was a good time. We had a lot of fun. But like, really, truly, I think it's cool, Jay. Like, I'm excited that you and Healey Brothers were the #1 advertiser on Pinterest. Like, I think that's really pretty impressive. Like, it means a lot to us that you guys invested in not only Dealers United but also in Pinterest.
Well, another thing, it's your belief in your partner. So you still need. I know technology has grown so much, but our partnership is really what helps. And you guys understand what we're trying to do to deliver the right message to our consumer. Most importantly, it's all about the consumer. So as long as we could do that, we're happy, and work with you guys is great. Also, another note, getting that award just shows my team and how hard they work and how much dedication they put to making sure the right content's on the platform, because every single day they're posting, every single day they're creating new content for this. There's a bunch of them out there, and just for them seeing it and understanding that they do that and got that award, because it's not just all about the money behind the content. It's the content creation that really is driving the clicks and the engagement. So kudos to them. It's definitely not me creating it. So it's all them. All right. So go
Culture.
ahead.
You created the culture within Healey to allow people to be creatives and be artists and have fun doing what they do at their job. So, really, really calls that out. That the
Pumping
culture.
my tires, Molly. It's a so I want to touch on another thing here is why, and this is more for the Dealers United team, and why do you guys think Pinterest is so important to our omnichannel? I know that's always our key word, omnichannel, because we believe the consumer, it's going to move across all the platforms, but you need to touch them with the right message every single place they are. So why do you believe Pinterest is that place? And you guys always stress to me, I know other dealers, I've even talked to other dealers on your behalf why it works for us and what you guys tell me. So if you just want to touch on that a little bit, and then we'll move on.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, the performance, the ROI is part of it. So we have to make sure that the performance is there, and we've proven that it is. I think the other thing, Jay, is a lot of dealers, they just don't know it or don't understand it yet. And I think when you can look at the omni-channel marketing system where you're able to reach a consumer where they're spending time, yes, you can look at other social media channels or other digital media channels, and people are spending time in a multitude of different places. But if we know that you have an audience, whether it's moms or truck enthusiasts or outdoor enthusiasts, if they're spending time on Pinterest, you'd be really missing a massive opportunity if you're not leveraging the platform to reach them there. You're basically ignoring a place where they're spending time. So for me, that's really the bottom line as far as why Pinterest. It's not going to be the only channel, but it needs to be part of the media mix, so you're reaching shoppers where they're spending time.
My very first marketing mentor, like almost a decade ago, which I don't want to date myself, but it always stuck in my head. He says people go to Pinterest with a credit card burning a hole in their pocket. Like they are wanting to take action. They want to, add something to their life. They're just looking where to do that. So I think that's always stuck with me, is that the mindset of the person on Pinterest is so different than just going on other platforms to just scroll and waste time wherever they are. So if you're not, like Justin said, if you're not taking advantage of those additional touch points with somebody who's so focused on adding to their life, being inspired to take action, then you're definitely missing out. At whether you're a mom and pop pizza place or if you're a dealer, this is a great place for you to reach a whole new set of individuals.
That might have been the best clip all day right there, Molly. That was because I don't think I could have said that any better, but I was thinking something similar. That was awesome. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, Pinterest, and I still ask for the data of what kind of buyer is on Pinterest, and it still shocks me every single time how high it is. The combined wealth in the family, like those people, I don't want to say it, they have their life together. They know their budgets, and they're just, again, they're action takers. And it's still, I don't believe it all the time because I'm not on the platform 24/7. I see what we do, but it's just like it's almost hard to get through. And then when you see the ROI on it, and you're like, how is that even possible? Like it's impressive. And it's not like you have to throw a crazy budget at it either. It just works. It works well with our
But
shop.
you actually just raised a good point, Jay. Like the fact that you don't spend a ton of time on platform, and sometimes we will hear that from people. They're like, "Well, I'm not on Pinterest." Okay, no problem. That's fine. But we know your shoppers are. So if we can provide you with data and a plan to reach shoppers, you don't have to be on Pinterest. So it's like, to your point about you're not on Pinterest, like that shouldn't be a limiting factor for anybody who's interested in using it. Like, cool, we have experts that are and can share the strategy with how to get you from point A to point B without you having to actually be on the platform.
Yeah, I mean, you're making an educated decision based off data rather than your personal feeling. And sometimes I get stuck up in it and emotion and authentic. That when I see the data, it speaks for itself. So I'm glad we're on the platform, and obviously, most importantly, the team here. I can't harp enough. It's always a pleasure. So is there anything else you guys want to touch on with Pinterest? Anything that you would recommend for someone else and to really engage that customer that Pinterest is doing differently, or anything new coming out for Pinterest?
In terms of new products for automotive advertisers, we are in a beta test right now with.
Whoa.
Don't worry, you're involved. You're involved. You just don't know it.
Okay.
We're testing out pre-owned or used for shopping inventory, right? We have isolated our inventory solution to new only for the past few years, but obviously within automotive, we know that pre-owned and used is a huge market. So we have pushed our product team to allow us to test that out. So DU, of course, has been our number one agency partner in activating that testing. I'm sure all of your stores, Jay, are included. But TBD on results. We expect them to be very strong, just like our new shopping campaigns are, but we are in the beta phase right now. So we expect that to be opened up later this year. And then outside of that, we continue to iterate. So we do allow for video shopping ads now, which we haven't had too many dealers take us up on. So if it's possible to include videos in your feeds, we can pull those in and create pins from them. So that's just like a more interactive way to catch someone's eye when they are looking to take action upon a make and the model that they know they're interested in. But outside of that, those are kind of like the two highlights for the first half of 2025.
So, I mean, that video is pretty interesting. And how do they perform? How do they work? How do the consumers like them so far with the video that pops up in the feed?
Yeah, so far it's performing very well. Again, it's kind of in like the test and learn phase, but across the board, video tends to be like one of the best performing units in terms of engagement on Pinterest, right? Because it brings the vehicle to life. It shows the vehicle from different angles, interior versus exterior. And of course, it's very eye-catching in the grid when you're scrolling through. So we expect to see really strong performance from it.
I got a question. So Pinterest, in my eyes, from what I see, is people have higher income, people that are doers, action takers. How do you think use in the long run is going to do? Because I feel like it's people that want shiny new things. Do you think it's going to do well, or do you think it's going to be a better market, say, for a luxury pre-owned vehicle or in that base? Like where do you kind of see that falling so far since you guys have been going at it?
Great question. So my working theory is that we continue to grow our Gen Z user base on Pinterest. It's our fastest growing cohort, and they're the most engaged audience for 2024.
Really?
We expect that trend to continue into 2025. So for folks within that Gen Z cohort, a $48,000 vehicle for a new vehicle, right? That transaction price is quite daunting and it's very high. So this gives the opportunity for a younger, maybe a first-time car buyer to enter the market, and for dealers to get those vehicles in front of a consumer who is interested in a pre-owned or used vehicle. I think we'll still continue to capture that luxury buyer and those early adopters who want the latest and greatest. But I think this just kind of rounds out the automotive inventory option for all of the users on Pinterest.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I'm curious what kind of pinning or what kind of pinner a Gen Zer is. Because I mean, I know my wife she was all in on wedding and houses and all that stuff, but like what kind of, do you have data on like what kind of pinner a Gen Zer is? Like what are they actually doing on the platform?
Yeah. they tend to focus more on like fashion, lifestyle, like nail art, spring outfits, things that are lower.
Women oriented, still leaning more women. Okay.
Yes, still skewing female, but definitely lots of male pinners. But male pinners are also looking for fashion advice.
I
And
used to do it a lot. So,
when you're in your 20s, that's like a transactional time in your life. You're trying to figure out who you are, trying to figure out like what you want your life to look like. So Pinterest is a great place to plan for that and to kind of play around with the different versions that you may become.
yeah. So in my head right now, I'm thinking like, since Use is on there, my demographic is the mom that wants that navigator. They're $130,000 now, $125,000. I have a certified pre-owned navigator for $90,000, $80,000. Now that mom can save herself some money, still have the luxury, or the mom that wants, or the dad that wants to get the mom a second car for herself, like that the used Mercedes SUV or something like that we carry. In my head, that's how it has me thinking, and that's relevant to them. They could save a few extra bucks. They're still going to commit to it, but they're getting that luxury feel and protected product that they desired for a better value. So.
Well, and even to that point, I mean, my neighbor, I don't know if Pinterest had anything to do with it, but he wanted to get a new truck and ended up purchasing, I think it was like a 2-year-old off-lease F-150. The truck's gorgeous. In his mind, it's brand new. I don't know what he saved going from, a brand new to a 2-year low mileage off lease. But Jay, you're 100% correct, right? That relatively new late model pre-owned vehicle, it's probably not going to be the less expensive, lower priced type of options. It's going to still be that like new pre-owned, and I think that's where
Yeah,
you're going to see that
I
success on
think we
Pinterest.
do really well with, like, obviously, not stereotype, the women like those Mercedes, they like the little Range Rovers. We always have those in on trade, and I could really see that working and really delivering the customer a great experience to engage with us and help them find what they're looking for. So that's some cool stuff Pinterest got going. All right, guys. So we're finished. Anything else we want to chat about here? It's always a good time speaking to you and seeing you guys. We got to get together in person. Well, I know I see Justin and Molly all the time, but anything else we want to chat about?
Allison was supposed to be at NADA, but the whole flight challenge.
The snow.
We got better, Allison. We got better.
Yes. Well, good.
Yeah,
I'm sure
we did it without notes. No notes.
Oh, yeah, you didn't hear
No
this.
notes.
That is wild. I'm so proud of you. I might have had an anxiety attack if I went on stage without any speaker notes.
We just absolutely winged it. Like some of the slides look the same, and we were like, oh boy, like they look. We don't want to say too much. Then we get to a slide and we have to skip it. So we were like, we fed pretty good. Molly was shocked that we told her, like, hey,
they hit everything. Like I was, obviously in the audience looking at their deck while they're doing it. Like, are they hitting this? Yep. Yeah. All right. Oh, they got that perfectly. And I, afterwards, when they said they had no notes, I was shocked because they literally nailed it. It was the best one they've ever done.
Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and follow us at Healey Brothers on all social platforms.